What's happening, people? How are we all doing? I hope we are all well. Back again with another match reaction. So, I have to say, I'm pretty surprised with the outcome of today's result. Well, not pretty surprised, I'm very surprised. Marseille nil, Liverpool 3. Yeah, you heard that correctly, people. We've won 3-0 away from home in the Champions League at a tough away ground, and we haven't conceded a goal. We've kept a clean sheet, and the team played relatively well. How weird does that feel to say with how the season's gone? It feels weird, genuinely feels weird. But of course, I'm going to give you guys my match reaction. I'm not going to go into too much detail, of course. Obviously, I'll be doing that in the match review that will drop tomorrow. So I'm just going to give you guys my quick 10 to 15-minute reaction on today's game. So yeah, before we get into the match reaction, do remember, if you are new to the channel, do drop a like on the video and the match reaction. It's much appreciated. Do subscribe to the channel as well, people. We're only 10 subs away from 600. So if you can subscribe and get us there and help me out there, it is very much appreciated. Do turn notifications on as well, so you know whenever content drops and future content drops. So like, subscribe, and comment, people. Without further ado, having said all of that, let's get straight into the match reaction, and let's just talk about Liverpool's win today, because that's ultimately what we are here to do. So Marseille nil, Liverpool 3. And we'll start with the team news for the game. I was relatively surprised to see one person in the team, one player in the team that I didn't expect to be playing. So the manager made a big decision today. Slot made a huge decision and a huge call to put Mohamed Salah straight back in to the Liverpool team, straight back into the starting 11. I was surprised, I'll be totally honest. I didn't see or expect Salah to be starting. I thought maybe the manager this game will keep him on the bench, maybe give him a cameo in the second half for 30 or 20 minutes, and then we see him properly integrated back into the team and starting on Saturday against Bournemouth. But the manager did something very unique, and he just put Salah straight back in, put him straight back into the team. Do I disagree with it? Am I for it or against it? Honestly, I'm for it, because you look at how we've been the last couple of weeks. I look at the Leeds game, I look at the Arsenal game, I look at the Burnley game. What have we lacked? What stopped us from getting the 3 points in them games? Not having a clinical finisher, not having someone who can just put the ball in the back of the net with one goal or one chance. And that person is none other than Mohamed Salah. So I totally get it. Manager wanted clinicalness in front of goal whenever we had chances. So he put Mohamed Salah straight back into the team. Did Mohamed Salah have a good game? However, I'll be honest, he missed a chance that he should have bagged. But overall, he didn't have a great game, let's be honest. He did ghost it again, non-existent. Look, I don't want to get onto him too much. I'm hoping it's just a bit of jet lag from his time at the AFCON. I know, obviously, that would have taken a lot out of him, and he will be, of course, disappointed to not have been able to go all the way with Egypt and lift that tournament. So I'm not going to get too much onto Mo for this one. But look, as the weeks go on, performances have to improve. He has to improve, because, let's be honest, before the AFCON, from the start of the season in August to December before he left, it wasn't good enough. For Mohamed Salah's standards, for the stature of player he is, it wasn't good enough. The season so far as a whole, I hate to say it, but it hasn't been good enough from him. And I would have thought he'd want to put in a statement today, personally, that he's come back, he's ready to go. He had a rough time before AFCON, but he's come back fresh and ready to go again for the remainder of the season. We didn't get that, unfortunately. I'm hoping, again, it's going to just take him a bit more time to get back into the rhythm of things, and he's back at his best soon. But yeah, didn't have a great game today, so we're starting him a good idea. Look, I still would have started him regardless, but yeah, didn't work out really. Other players outshined him, and of course, he didn't have a great game. But we'll see how it goes going forward with Salah. Fingers crossed he's better. Other than that, overall for the whole game, I'm going to be honest. The first half, I don't really know what to make of the first half. People thought we played well in the first half. I felt it was a better performance, 100%. At least I will say one positive: we weren't just playing the ball around side to side. It wasn't boring, etc. Today, I actually felt we went a bit more pragmatic. We went a bit more defensive. It was more counter-attacking Liverpool. Marseille, we know, obviously, you know what type of football Roberto De Zerbi plays as a manager. He's a very possession-based coach. His teams orientate around having a lot of the football. So I can see why Liverpool set up the way they did against a possession-based team. Just let them have it. We'll hit them on the count and we'll pick them off. And of course, with the quality we have compared to the quality they have, of course, it's no there's no doubt that we scored 3 and they didn't score 1. But the first half was good. I'll be very good. Players that I was worried about for Marseille, Aubameyang, the one player that I really saw as a threat, didn't even start the game. So there was no one else in that team that I really looked at and thought, yeah, they're going to cause Liverpool problems. With Gomez out, no, sorry, Gomez out. With Kanate out, I was a little bit worried as to who would partner Van Dijk as centre back. I thought the manager would do something crazy like Gravenberch or Endo there, but he put Gomez in there, and Gomez had a good game, so fair play. But it was a very good defensive performance in the first half, I felt. Actually, I take that back. It was a good defensive performance in the first half. I'm not going to say very good, but we did what we had to do. They had most of the ball, but we were the team creating. Ekitike scores, and it gets ruled out again for being offside. 2 games in a row where Hugo's put the ball in the back of the net, and it's been ruled out because he's offside. But that didn't seem to stop Liverpool. We carried on continuing playing our game. Like I said, Marseille had most of the ball. They had most of the possession. I think it was about 60% to them, 40% to us. But when we had the ball, it wasn't just meaningless side to side. We went forward with it. There was intent there. And Szoboszlai opens the scoring up. Another free kick goal from Szoboszlai to put us 1-0 up before half time. Szoboszlai is so good. He is so good. Just keep this guy on free kicks for the remainder of the season. Keep him on the free kick thing because he did what he did against Barnsley, that absolute belter of a goal. Arsenal at the beginning of the season, he's so good from long range. And again, another great goal from Szoboszlai. I said, don't get onto Szoboszlai too much after the Burnley game and after the Barnsley game when he had the 2 mock-ups, the penalty miss against Burnley and the goal that the mistake that led to the Barnsley goal last week in the FA Cup. I said don't get onto Szoboszlai because he is the one in this team that gives 100% week in, week out. He is the one that is carrying this Liverpool team through this dark period. And again, stepped up, put us 1-0 up when we needed him. Can't say it wasn't a deserved goal, to be fair. And over the balance of play, I think we deserved to go in at halftime 1-0 up. I think we were the better team. However, look, what did I say at halftime? What was I thinking at halftime? Well, I was thinking it's been a good first half. But we know what the story is like with Liverpool usually in the second half of games. What usually happens to us? We switch off, we go dead, and the other team get more initiative. And I felt something similar could happen in the second half. However, this time around, it was a bit different. The second half was actually, dare I say, even better than the first half. Marseille needed to go for it more. And they did go for it, to be fair. They did get a couple of chances, but they just didn't put the ball in the back of the net. They couldn't score, couldn't really do nothing. Liverpool, I think, defensively, we were very good. Alisson made a couple of good saves when he was called upon. So I'm happy from that aspect of the game. And we kept a clean sheet as well away from home. Kept a clean sheet in this away from home. A tough away ground in the Champions League for once. So that's another positive. Defensively, good performance today. Of course, Frimpong put us 2-0 up. Now, I don't know if it was given as a goal to Frimpong or whether the goal was given as offside, but either way, we were 2-0 up. And we needed that goal. We needed that 2-0 cushion because at that point, it was 1-0 going into the last 20 minutes. You knew Marseille were going to push on, and I think there was that worry that they were going to equalise at some point. So us going again up the other end, making it 2-0 and sealing the deal was the cushion that we needed in the game. The second half was very similar to the first half in terms of Marseille had most of the ball. We sat back and hit them on the counter, but it worked well. So we go 2-0 up, and that was game over pretty much. Marseille, of course, didn't have the quality to come back. And overall, did they play great? I'm going to be honest. It's this exact for me. It was their performance, Marseille's performance today, very reminiscent of the Inter Milan performance a couple of weeks back. I expected so much more from them being the home team, them apparently being a half decent side as well. But I don't know if they didn't turn up or if they're being overhyped, but Inter did the same thing against us. So yeah, whatever in it. But anyway, we make it 3-0 again in added time. And was it a 3-0 game? Well, Cody Gakpo makes it 3-0. I'm going to give Gakpo some credit because he's been coming under a lot of hate recently. We know he's been coming under a lot of hate recently by our fans. We've all been saying he's not good enough. We've all been saying he needs to improve. He needs to not be so robotic. But today, look, he scored, made it 3-0, sealed the deal for us. So credit to Cody Gakpo. I'll criticise when criticism is needed, but I'll also praise when praise is deserved. And I think Gakpo making it 3-0, sealing the deal, deserves praise. It's a weird one. because it just didn't feel like a 3-0 type game. It did not feel like a 3-0 type game today, in my opinion. I felt we were good, but we weren't 3-0 level good, if you know what I'm trying to say. No doubt that the slot in Parade are going to be lapping this up. There's no doubt that the fans in our fan base that have got low standards are going to be lapping this up. And, oh, what are you saying about Slot? Now, look, my stance will not change on Arne Slot. We could have won 7-0 tonight. My stance won't change on the manager. He needs to go. He's not good enough and out of his depth. But I'll never not be happy when we win games. Of course, I'm very happy we won, and we put in a decent performance. So credit where credit is due, of course. But I just need to make a plea here. Can we not get too carried away with this? Because while it was a great performance today, a great win away from home, and that does well for our qualification hopes, by the way, as well. We now go into the last game week playing Karabag at home. We should be getting the 3 points there. Even with a reserve team, we should be getting the 3 points. So qualification hopes are looking very good from the top 8. We don't really look like we're going to risk a playoff round now. Look like we can qualify from the top 8. But to the slot in Brigade, can we not get too carried away? Because we've seen this before. We put in a decent away performance in the Champions League against Inter Milan. And what happened a couple of weeks later? We reverted back to type. So I'm very cautious because while we played well today, I'm very well aware that against Bournemouth on Saturday, it could very well revert back to type, and we can all be sat here screaming or pulling our hair out because it's not been a good performance. So a good win, but I'm not getting carried away. As for Slot, look, I don't want to use this phrase, and I don't really want to be comparing these two, but I think it's an accurate analogy. Slot is very much our Ten Hag. He's very much Ten Hag 2.0. You guys remember 2 years ago in the 23-24 season, Eric Ten Hag was under massive pressure at Manchester United and from the Manchester United fans. But whenever he was under massive pressure, he'd usually pull out a result, or the players would pull out a result, and they'd pull out a decent win, and the pressure would get relieved. I'm sensing something similar with Arne Slot this season at Liverpool. Whenever the pressure has been on us this season, and it's been on us on a couple of occasions, the team just somehow pull out a result for him and save his lifeline. I don't know whether it's him who does it or the team does it, but we just seem to get a result whenever the pressure is really on, and that takes the pressure down for a bit. And then, of course, when results get worse again, the pressure rises. But Inter Milan's a prime example. Going into that game, the pressure was really on us. We had the Leeds 3-3 draw, wasn't looking good. The whole Salah and Slot thing happened. And we just went to Inter Milan, put in a decent performance, got the win, and the pressure was relieved, and then we went on the winning run a bit. And then, of course, it's gone a bit pear-shaped again with the recent draws, Fulham, Leeds, Burnley. So it's gone a little bit paired again. But again, when the pressure's really on, like it has been, what it was prior to this game, we just go to Marseille and win 3-0 and pull out a performance. It makes zero sense to me. It makes zero sense how whenever the pressure's really on, whenever the manager Slot is really on pressure, a result just gets pulled out. No doubt this will quieten things down again. No doubt the slottiness and the low standards degrading our fan base will be lapping this up. But look, let's be honest, it will probably go pear-shaped again in a couple of weeks. And then what? Is Slot going to be able to pull out another miracle? Because he's done it twice already this season, today and Inter Milan away. This is what I'm saying, Ten Hag 2.0. Whenever the pressure's on, a result just gets pulled out and he saves his job. And that's exactly what's happened today. But I'm not going to turn this into a Slot hating or Slot cooking session, because it's not about that. It's about the match reaction of today's game. And today, we went away to Marseille, won 3-0. Didn't expect it. I predicted a 3-2 loss. We win the game 3-0. So fair play to the team and fair play to the manager as well. So no hate for me today. Win. That's all I want. And we won today. That, of course, does, like I said earlier, does very well for our top 8 qualification hopes. We now probably won't go into the playoff. I believe we beat Marseille on the last game. Marseille, what am I on about? I believe we beat Karabag on the last game week and we qualified from the top 8. So that was a big win. Are Marseille overhyped? I don't know, because I expected more, but obviously they didn't have a lot to give today. So I'm happy, but I'm not getting too carried away. I won't change my stance on the manager, but I'll never not be happy when Liverpool don't win a game. And today we won. So credit all around and happy days. I can enjoy the rest of my evening. But that is it for today's match reaction, people. I'll be back tomorrow with my match review for the game. So we'll go into a little bit more detail on the performance, point out a couple of things I felt we learned as well. So stay tuned. That will drop tomorrow afternoon or evening, depending on how I feel. Other than that, I'm going to head off now. Remember, on your way out, drop a like on the video, drop a like on the match reaction, subscribe to the channel if you can do so. We're only 10 subs away from 600 people. So if you can help me out and help me get there or closer to there, it's very much appreciated. Turn notifications on the channel as well, so you know whenever future content drops. Other than that, like, subscribe, and comment. Of course, I will be back tomorrow with my match review. Stay tuned. Make sure notifications are on so you know whenever that drops. Other than that, TLP with Liverpool profit out. Up the Reds, a good win today. Proved me wrong. So well in, lads. Speak to you all soon. Bye for now.